Shall we move on to phonological dyslexia?
This is the difficulty in learning phonics. And so these children will fail on any task that requires them to use letter sound rules. And there's only one way of testing that, which is to give them pseudo words to read, nonsense words like VIB. And you find these children who can read plenty of real words. Then you give them VIB. They say that's not a word. And you say, I know it's not a word, but how would you say it? They have no idea. And so they can recognize that it's not a word because they've got some sight vocabulary. So they know this isn't in their sight vocabulary. And so for them, it can't be read because the only way you read words is by recognizing them. You don't read them by rules because these children have struggled to learn those rules. And in many ways, this is the most disabling kind of reading problem because the way children learn to read is, first of all, by learning phonic rules and then sounding out words. And so if you're a 6-year-old child, you might know 10,000 words from speech. So there are 10,000 different words. If you say to the child, what does such and such mean? They'll tell you. A 6-year-old has a huge vocabulary of 10,000 words in speech. But in print, this child has only just begun to learn to read. So they might be only able to recognize 10 words in print. And so this is the most important fact there is about learning to read. The child will constantly come across words in print that the child's never seen before, that the child knows in speech. And so if only the child could sound the word out, they could use their knowledge of the spoken forms of words to figure out, that's the word tree. So this child who's 6 knows the word tree when you say it to them, but they've never seen the word tree before. If they know the rules, they can go to tree, that's the word tree. And this is a way in which children can teach themselves to read. But you can only do that if you're really good at phonics. And that's why being bad at phonics is going to be make learning to read very, very difficult. Even though, as we said before, ultimately, you're going to have to give up phonics. And so learning to read means getting to be good at phonics so you can teach yourself by sounding out. Then later on down the track, you have to cope with the problem of these irregular words that disobey the phonic rules. But phonological dyslexia is really a great difficulty because these are children who have trouble learning the phonic rules, so they can't use this method to teach themselves to read. When they see TREE, they can't go to E. And if they can't do that, they can't figure out which of the words they know in speech is this word they're looking at.
Right.